And I want to be absolutely clear. What we're going to be sharing today, this isn't for everyone. So I'm going to be really clear about this and what this is for. This 2-day event has one purpose and one purpose only, and that's to help you generate more leads than you can actually manage, ideally, and help you make more placements. Somebody, I think it was Ali was saying this morning, somebody was saying, David I think was saying, where do you get this information from? We're going to share information with you. I'm going to be absolutely clear about it. What I'm going to share with you isn't based on my personal opinion. In fact, I'll go as far as to say this. My opinion doesn't count. Neither does yours, neither does your friends down the pub. I'm going to share with you things that we know that work. But I always say this, don't take my word for it as we go along. Test it. Just test it. I appreciate for some of you that haven't done this before, that some of the new guys, you can say, oh, I think my market's different. All I'm going to say is just test it and see for yourself. For any of the stuff that we're going to share with you to work does require hard work. I'm going to be absolutely clear about that. Sometimes people come along and say, oh, Terry, the stuff you share is fantastic. And that's it. No. For this to work, we're going to share with you what needs to be done, but you have to go away and do it. You probably realise I sign off quite often with take care, take action, and be relentless. You constantly take an action. It's a bit like if you, in fact, just a quick exercise. Anybody here go to the gym or exercise on a regular basis? Yeah, so you'll get this. You can't go along to the gym for a month, for 2 months, for 3 months, for a year, and say, that's it, I'm fit. Life isn't like that. And this is exactly the same. It's an ongoing process. So when you go to the gym, you don't go for a week or a month or a year and go, that's it, I'm fit now. And what we're sharing with you is exactly the same. It is an ongoing process. I can quietly say that most of you in this room are kind of sitting on what we call hidden profits. I'm going to go through some of that today, some of the hidden profits that are sitting on. And again, I do appreciate that you're going to find it challenging at times because it is so different to what you may be familiar with. But I'm quietly confident that it's going to work. But I'll keep repeating this, just test it. Please test it. You're also going to have to be comfortable with upsetting the norm. You're going to have to be comfortable with some of the things we're going to encourage you to do. You're going to piss off your competitors. Fact. You may annoy some of your clients. You may annoy some of your candidates. That's okay. I'm going to be absolutely clear about this. For any of this stuff to work, you can't be all things to all people. If you try and be nice, if you try and be all things to all people, you'll simply end up being nothing to nobody. And we'll give some examples as we go through the day. You've got to be comfortable with that. Whatever you do, you're going to piss somebody off somewhere. I promise you. We get complaints about, oh, the trouble with you, Terry, is you never wear a tie when you're doing these webinars. Or whatever we do. The trouble with you, Terry, you talk too. We get complaints all the time. That's okay. And I want you to be okay with it. You're going to have to grow some. So I just want to check in with you that what I say so far, is everybody in the room okay with that? So just raise your hands. And if you're not, just let me know. It's okay. It doesn't make it wrong. Just want to let you know. If you're not okay with it, just let me know, because none of this stuff is going to work. In total, we've got 8 modules that we're going to go through over the 2 days. I also want to say this: there is no such thing as a silly question. If we say anything you think it makes no sense whatsoever, that's okay. Just ask. That's all we ask is just ask. In terms of housekeeping, turn your mobile phones off. Please don't have your mobile phones on texting your mates and organising interviews. Turn any device off. We have a really strict rule on this. If your mobile goes off, turn one off now. Always. I'm going to say something. If your mobile phone goes off during the sessions, you buy 2 rounds in the bar and you donate money to charity. It's as simple as that. Just every time I say that, somebody in the room goes, oh, I'll just dial Terry now. just get my phone to ring. So let's be absolutely clear about it. Please turn off all your devices. And I think amongst other things, it's just rude that you're in a session like this and you're sending text messages and you're on Facebook. It's not going to work. So we are really strict about that. Got some rules. I'm going to be clear about this. One thing that we encourage you to do, one of our mantras is my business, my rules. We would strongly encourage that you do the same with your business as well. But here's our rules for the business. This is my room, our room. Just be absolutely clear. Every now and then, in fact quite often, I do swear. I'll be absolutely clear about that. I also like to have a joke as well. If you're going to be offended by it, I'm letting you know now, I will be swearing. I'm quite selective who I want to spend time with. If you're going to bitch and moan about stuff, I'd ask you to lead now, because I've got no patience. I'll be honest with you, I haven't got much patience for much things anyway. But people are going to bitch and moan. I'm going to ask you to lead. As I said, turn off your phones. As I said, my opinion doesn't count. Neither does yours or your mates down the pub. Test everything. But as we go around the room, if somebody's already said it, say it's already up there. Jess is very kindly offered to. She volunteered. She said, "Tony, I insist." And Jess is going to write down on the whiteboard what it is you want to get from the room. Yeah. Is that okay with everybody?
Yeah.
Yeah? Excellent. Paul, I'll start with you. What is it you want to get from these 2 days?
Probably more consistency.
More consistency. Write that down.
Consistency in what? Sense.
Everything really. Managing of time, cash flow.
More consistency, management of time and cash flow. I'm not sure if we're going to cover that around time today. Oh, the other 2 days.
That's it, I'm going.
Consistent cash flow. I guess that would be if you could get more business in.
Yeah, no, I mean, that was the first thing that came into my head when you said
Yeah.
that. So.
Well, tell you what, we'll come back to you. It's okay.
Yeah,
we'll come back to you.
yeah.
But if 20% of what we learn in terms of lead generation works and sticks, I'm happy.
If 20% of what you learn works,
I'm happy.
what's your definition of work? What needs to happen for you to know?
For me, well, okay, very simple. We want to double the business.
Okay, so tell me how this sounds. If I could show you a way of generating sufficient leads so you would double your business, would that meet your needs?
That meet the needs.
Yeah, so generate sufficient leads so you could double your sales
Right.
over the next 12 months.
Yeah.
Okay.
And if that, well, I mean, and you know, what worked for the one doesn't work for the other, that's fine.
Mhm.
That's why I say, you know, they give you the tolerance, 20% is fine.
Thank you.
I'm generous.
You are. Gary.
Yeah, just continue to learn more about how to, generate never-ending leads and
Generating never-ending leads. Excellent. I'm sorry.
It's Sanjeev.
Sanjeev, that's it, sorry, yeah.
It's actually the combination of the two. Really.
Combination of two, that's great, yeah. Julie?
Mine's going to be based around commitment, getting more commitment from the candidates and clients.
Getting more commitment.
Getting them locked into, committed to us.
That's a good one.
Buying into
More
us.
commitment. Because if you've got more commitment, you get more engagement from both parties. That's a really good
Making
one.
sure that we're not flogging dead horses on candidates and clients.
Clients. Good one. Mike?
A set of specific actions that I can implement in the business.
I take it to generate leads, yeah?
Yeah.
Set of specific actions to generate more leads. Thank you. David? Mike, sorry. Sorry.
We tried to make this easier.
Yeah.
Nothing different to what's already been said, but on a personal kind of note, I'm a firm believer in sort of the inbound marketing methodology. For me, I want to see if there's anything that I'm kind of missing, any other sort of hints, tips, tricks that we could implement in the business.
Okay, yeah. So you want to find other things that you may not be doing right now?
Yes.
Yeah, excellent, thank you. Lorna?
Similar new ideas and cement my understanding of what I already
No.
know.
Cement your understanding and new ideas. Micah?
So I'd like to move up the food chain, so I'd like to do and get business from more senior people that I don't know.
Right, so business for more senior, and that means more senior point, the food chain, yeah.
Bigger,
Excellent. Excellent, thank you. Adrian?
I've got two things. On my wall in my office, I've got a conversion board with 6 key conversions of the business. One of them, the more difficult one, is trying to reduce the number of sales to incoming inquiries.
Sorry, Adrian, I don't understand. Reduce sales, did you say?
Yeah, outbound sales to more leads coming in by...
Oh, sorry, right,
yeah.
right. I heard you, yeah.
And my second thing might not be covered, but I'm interested to talk to anybody about the retained service.
Okay.
I'm interested. I have not done it.
Okay.
You can claim.
Yeah, excellent. I would say most, in fact, let's raise your hands, rather than me guessing. Raise your hand, please, if you do retained assignments. So have a look around the room, guys. These are the guys you want to be talking to. Keep your hand up if you only do retained, and you won't entertain it unless... Okay, that's interesting. Excellent, excellent. They're the guys you want to be talking to, and we are going to cover some of that as well. Good one. Ash?
How we can apply this to candidates?
How to apply this to candidates?
Obviously, everything we've been talking about has been more focused around clients, so, you know...
Yeah, actually, I'll answer that in due to us, but how to apply this to candidates? I will answer that, Ash, yeah.
More continuity in terms of lead generation, so much along the lines of what you said.
Yeah, consistency of lead generation. Yeah. Yeah.
Also moving up the food chain.
Up the food chain as well, yeah. Excellent. Dan?
I think I'm interested in two things, sort of more innovative, the new sort of wave of lead generation, what that is. So new ideas, I suppose.
New ideas, yeah.
New ideas. And the other thing is, I don't know if you're going to cover the GDPR impact on the way we're marketing.
Yeah. Yeah, we are going to touch on it, but yeah, but to answer your question, yeah. Ali?
All about the process, Terry.
All about
how you the process step by step, like you said, of how to generate more leads.
The process to generate more leads. Excellent. Thanks. Thanks, Jeff.
Something to produce strategies to produce 5 to 10 client leads per week.
You want 5 to 10 client leads per week, every week?
Yeah.
4 2 months, yeah. Sorry, mate, anything else?
And the way of automating them.
Automation, good point, yeah. So automation, 40 leads a month. Imran?
The ultimate aim, obviously, is to create a business, but...
Sorry, could you...
The ultimate aim is to increase the business, but it's to upgrade my recruitment software, how I operate, bring it up to date, innovative ways.
Easiest ways of bringing your recruitment business up to date, yeah. Okay. Thank you. Maria?
I think it's all been said, but I would like to stop chasing leads if possible and just getting the right people to come to me.
I know that one, yeah. Excellent.
Yeah, so along those lines, getting new clients, but obviously making them return for more business.
Return for more business, yeah.
So,
yeah,
two things. I'd say on the candidate side, I'd like to try and find a way to get the candidates that nobody else is getting, which is an obvious enough one. But in terms of leads, I'd like to spot early enough what a good lead is. So, if you're talking about quality rather than quantity, how to figure out who is going to produce on an ongoing basis.
Yeah. Have I covered everybody?
You missed the software, right?
Sorry, my apologies. Sorry, Adrian. Brad, sorry.
As Paul said, I want to be seen or perceived less middle management. I want to get those senior sort of CEO level assignments, and I want a greater percentage of retained as opposed to exclusive non-retained.
Yeah. Anybody else?
So it's about understanding the right marketing in a digital way, be more kind of structured and organized and processed.
So greater structure and process for digital marketing. Yeah. Have I got that about right?
Yeah, that's right.
Fantastic.
We just like a better handle on the social media bit.
Social media marketing, yeah.
Specifically LinkedIn, I think, which is a...
Yeah. Anybody else? Anything that you're thinking, oh, that wasn't said and... You haven't done it for Brian. Oh, sorry. Yeah. Anybody else? Anything you think, oh, crikey, nobody's mentioned this and... That's about right for everything, yeah? Excellent. Excellent. Thanks for that, Jess.
That's okay.
So we'll come back to that as we go along. So what we'll look at first of all is the big threats to your recruitment and search business and how lead genesis can...
sorry, before we start, has anyone got any special dietary requirements?
Oh yeah, sorry.
For lunch? No vegetarians?
Yeah, I think vegetarian.
Two vegetarian. Anyone else?
No pork.
No pork.
No pork.
No beef.
No beef, yeah, that's fine. Anyone else? No, it's 2 vegetarians. Right.
So I said the big threats to your recruitment and search business is how lead generators will help you fix them. Are you going to do the slides?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So let's look at the big threats to your business right now. One of the challenges you've got is spending reluctance. Some of you are well aware. Some of your prospects would rather use an in-house recruiter and to keep their costs down. And that challenge isn't going to go away anytime soon. In fact, in our opinion, that challenge with in-house recruiters is going to increase, if nothing else. Another challenge I have is I'm sure you've experienced something like this. Yeah, I used one of you guys, I perhaps paid a retainer, it didn't work, so they've had their fingers burnt. Some prospects, for whatever reason, there's a number of reasons, we're looking at it now, but they just don't trust you. You know, they don't trust salespeople, they don't trust recruiters. Yeah? And then there's a great deal of uncertainty that makes this really cynical. We've got Brexit, we've got cybersecurity, we've got political unrest. All these things are going on right now within your clients. Is there anything you want to add to that in terms of reluctance, Drew?
No.
Excellent. We've also got price pressure. At times you feel that the only way that you can get business is by lowering your fees. And I know some of you in particular say, I'm not doing it, I'm not going to lower my fees, which I think is great, by the way, we'll cover that in due course. But the clients will give the impression that for you to get this business, perhaps you're going to have to give us some sort of discount to prove yourself. To enter into the world of recruitment and executive search isn't that difficult, as you all know. You could literally go off tomorrow, get a PC, get a phone, sit on your kitchen table and call yourself a recruiter. And whether you're, you know, the likes of Moribond, where you've got multiple offices and I don't know how many hundreds of consultants you've got, you're a one-man, it makes no difference as far as the client's concerned. It's dead easy to actually, the cost of entry is really easy. And then what's compounded that is some recruitment and search firms have what they've done, they've commoditised the actual service. And they would do things, we touched on this last night. So an example where you can commoditise your service. So all the client's looking at is, how do you compare in price to everybody else's? One of the last things you do, we're going to teach you a bit more. For example, put your fees on your website. So what you're saying to the client is, here's our fees, tell me how we compare with your competitors. So they have a look, okay. If you don't compare, that's the end of it. And you're only attracting, and we'll go into this in more detail, you're only attracting a certain buyer when you're doing that, because you've commoditised the whole thing. But one thing that we're going to be covering over these next few days is to do with positioning. So you're not a commodity. And you say, yeah, I get you can get this cheaper down the road, but that's not what we do. But that's a big concern. And one of the reasons that's a big concern, before I go on, anything you would add to that? What said there, Drew?
Yeah, I think, like I was speaking to Claire yesterday in the bar, and there's a lot of good things about the recruitment search industry in terms of like a business model. I mean, I like it because you can be really high ticket. It's one of the few industries where, whether they like it or not, your clients will eventually need you, right? It's not like what we sell, for example, that has to be a want for it. With recruitment, if they grow, if someone leaves, they eventually need to hire you, right? So it's good in that sense. The bad side of it, or the thing that makes it more difficult perhaps, is that your clients have no way of knowing who the best firm is until after they buy, right? It's not like test driving a car where you can sit in the car, you can feel the seats, you know that it's comfortable, you know it's right for you. The client, with recruitment, they don't have that opportunity. So you're out there saying that you're the best, but everyone else saying the same thing. So that's one of the bad sides, which again creates that price pressure as well. There's no obvious way to say we're better than the guy down the road, and if they're cheaper, the client has no way of telling you.
Yeah, which brings us on to in a lot of cases, there's no obvious difference between you and your competitors. So you say, well, we'll do it for 28%, your competitors will do it for 27%, and the difference being what? There is no obvious difference. And for many recruitment and search firm owners, they don't know how to position it. So say, yeah, I get that they're 1% less, but there's a reason for that. Because there is no obvious difference unless you know what you're doing. It's actually harder to get attention. We're going to cover this a bit later on, but I don't know if you're aware, it's estimated that the average human being were bombarded with about 5,000 marketing messages a day, every single day. And something has to, I don't want to go into it now, but something happens for you to take notice for the particular advertising messages that's going on. And the old methods of getting business, I was talking to Ali at breakfast this morning, and Ali was saying in the old days, it says the old days, because you're not that old actually, but anyway, but that's more mature memory. Seriously, what we did is we picked up the phone, and you just got on the phone and you just banged away. And and when I first started, I was given a Rolodex, and you were saying that they're the people that you've got to call, and you literally just did that. And we have to do 80 calls, it's just unbelievable, 80 cold calls a day. Those methods aren't working now, and you all know, you try getting through to a decision maker on the bloody cold call. And it's estimated that the average hiring manager gets between 8 and 12 cold calls a day, every single day. Think about that. If it's averaging at 10 a day, they're getting 200 cold calls a month, every single month. And think about the script that hi, I'm a great recruiter, can we have your business? Think about that for a minute. How would you feel if you were getting 200 bloody cold calls a month at home? Somebody selling double, whatever it is, PPI or whatever. You can see the challenge of that. Those methods aren't working anymore. And for you guys that then got consultants, one of the other challenges it's interesting, so you talked about the 20%. 20% of your consultants are underperforming. And that's a conservative number. We talked to some business owners, and they're talking that 40% of the consultants are actually underperforming right now. And we're going to cover that in more detail as we go along. Marketing and advertising costs are increasing all the time. Just doing direct mail. I talked to some guy, Mike, yesterday, just doing direct mail and things like that. But that cost is increasing all the time.
Yeah, and just to add, these threats and the causes of them, they're all strongly linked, right? But when Terry first sort of entered the industry doing what we do now, one of the sort of things he became known for was saying cold calling is dead. And it's not to say that cold calling doesn't work, it's just that compared to even a year ago, but definitely 5-10 years ago, you're having to do a lot more, spend a lot more hours on the phone just to actually get through to the person you need to speak to. And then even now when you get through, you're probably not the first person that called them that day. So that's why, again, that causes price pressure, because if another firm's got their first and said they're going to do it for this much, or another firm said they're going to do it on contingency and you're trying to get a retainer, it makes things incredibly difficult.
And just on that, just to finish on that, if you guys that want retainers, you're calling a complete stranger, and let's say the fee is just say it's 30,000, so you want a retainer of 10,000 up front, and you're calling a complete stranger. What you're really saying is, you don't know me, and I don't know you, but will you pay me 10,000 and I will start looking for somebody that's non-refundable? Think about that conversation. Think about it from the client's point of view. Are you kidding me? You want me to pay, I've never heard of you, but you want to pay £10,000 up front, and I did it. Think about it. We're talking about this last night. I'm getting get some carpet fitted at home, and he's measured up and everything. He sent me a letter, which was unusual, saying I want a £500 deposit before I do the work next week. I got his name from somebody else, and I'm kind of, I don't really know, and I've got this reluctance. It's only £500, but we were talking about this last night. If I've got a reluctance to pay a carpet fitter £500 deposit, and you're asking a complete stranger to spend £10,000, can you see it from the client's point of view? Can you understand their reluctance to do that? I'm just checking, is that making sense to everybody, what I'm saying there, yeah?
And again, just add to that, I mean, I went through a similar thing when we were hiring the camera guy to film this event. So you pay the deposit up front, and my biggest fear is what if he doesn't show up? And obviously, yes, thank you.
I told you he was okay.
It's a big concern. He gets to 9 o'clock, it's like, oh, I'm not here. And it's not necessarily so that, the total cost was 1,500, but the deposit was 500. It wasn't necessarily the financial loss. It's like, if this event doesn't get filmed, then we can't sell the DVDs, and it has a knock-on effect. But it's not even just in recruitment, but your clients are there's a lot of mistrust, right? And it's because of having, I've talked about in the previous threat, it's because of having their fingers burnt before. We've all been let down by a recruiter, a builder, a camera person. We've all been let down by these people before. And now as I said before, like there's no way to differentiate you from them. There's no way, because even though you're saying you're the best, I'll speak to my previous clients, they are saying exactly the same thing.
Yeah. But the answer to all this is to master marketing. The answer to all this, you can call it marketing, you can call it client attraction, whatever it is. It's the ability to attract the right clients at the right price, and that you want. We're going to share with you how to attract the right clients. And by the way, we're going to share with you how to repel the wrong clients. You should be doing your utmost to repel the wrong clients and doing your utmost to attract the right clients.
Terry, sorry. All this material, all this material, is it available later, or do we have to write this down somewhere?
Yeah, you should. It's in your notebook. It's in your notebook.
There, okay.
Yeah.
Right, thanks.
Let me just check. Has everybody got a folder? Just check everybody's got one. Yeah? Great. Effective marketing gains trust and ensures your prospects are willing to pay the fees you want and deserve. Let me repeat that. Effective marketing gains the trust and ensures the prospects are willing to pay your fees. Everybody in this room are in this room because of effective marketing. Think about it. Some of you I spoke to on the phone, I would have said like, "Hi, it's Terry Edwards here, Renegade Recruiter." When I say that, not one of you will go, "Terry who?" Here's the response I get. "Oh, hi, Terry." Sometimes I pick up the phone to people I've never spoken to before and I go, "Hi, it's Terry Edwards here, Renegade Recruiter." They go, "Hi, Terry." And then sometimes, because of the relation, we're going to show you how to do this, they will share stuff with you. A guy said to me, he goes, "Oh, I'm just getting off a ferry, I've just been away on holiday with my family." He spent 10 minutes telling about his family and his family holiday. But think about that intellectually. I'd never met him before. Would you tell a complete stranger about what you've just done? Think about it. But he was prepared to do that because of the marketing. See, when I call anybody, and you guys, who are working with someone, you call them, they don't go, "Who?" They go, "Hi." Because none of your clients, I keep repeating myself, but want to be pestered with cold calls. And with this effective marketing, what it means is you'll be treated like a welcome guest rather than a pest. Most recruiters, and you tell me if you experienced this. "Hi, can I speak to da-da-da?" "Yeah, I'll just put you through." And then somebody's going, "Oh, another recruiter on the phone." Have you ever experienced that? You think, "I'm not another recruiter." But you are. The way that you position yourself, you're just another commodity. But what if, and we'll show you how to, clients come back to you and say, "Hi, I'm thinking of engaging a recruitment or search firm. Before I do, I thought I'd reach out to you." Because you've positioned yourself as the expert. That's what you want. Somebody talked about getting the leads coming to you. That's exactly what you want. Client said to me, "I thought I'd talk to you, Terry. I know you're bloody expensive, but I just thought I'd pick your brain anyway." I don't want to pick my brain out, let's sort it together. But that's what you want. You want to come into you because the way you positioned yourself. Especially search firms. The kind of fees you're getting, you've got to be respected. They're not going to pay you. You know this already. They're not going to pay you unless they respect you. And it kind of eliminates all your competition. Now, when you get this right, you're not concerned about your competitors. When you get this right, I guarantee this, and you find out that somebody's a little bit more expensive than you think, they charge 31%, and I'm only doing it for 30%. I'm the best of them. I've got to put it to 32%. Because your marketing almost demands that you've got to be the premium player. By the way, to answer Ash's question, all these methods that we're going to share with you can be used for both client attraction and candidate attraction. It's exactly the same method, and sometimes some of you may even be thinking now, but my market's different and my clients won't respond to this market. Test it. My candidates won't test it. Just test it. And a lot of the marketing that we do, there's no massive upfront cost to actually test it and get something. Hey, if it doesn't work, I'll be shocked if some stuff we're going to share with you and you say it didn't work. And by the way, we've never had that when someone's in the market. I didn't get anything at all, unless they've done some fundamental wrong.
Yeah, again, just to add to what you said, so we went through threats, but really marketing is the answer to all of them, right? If you could wave a magic wand and you have the power to attract all the clients you want, when you wanted them, for the fees you wanted, then it will solve literally 99% of your business headaches. I mean, you mentioned cash flow. That's usually down to not having enough of the right clients. So it solves that problem. It solves the problem of any of you that have got consultants that are underperforming, or you want to build a team of consultants that do perform, like one of the challenges that you've got is if they're a top biller at another firm, why are they going to come to you? Well, they have to start from scratch with effectively a cold desk. If you can say to them, look, we have a system for bringing in leads all the time, so just follow this process and you'll be up to where you are now in no time. Right? It solves 99% of your problems. But one thing that I think you need to be aware of is the overall lifetime value of your client, because a lot of the stuff we're going to be talking about today is going to involve investing in lead generation. And in order to do that, so it's going to be an investment of like financial investment or an investment of time. There's only two ways you can really generate more leads. There's no free marketing. So it's all about time or money, right? But in order to do that, one thing you need to be very clear on is how much you're willing to pay or how much you're willing to invest to acquire a client. And to know that, you need to know what is the overall lifetime value of a customer to you.
So, Paul, are you okay? Just checking this, perhaps doing this on record. Are you okay to share your LTV? You shared with me the other day your LTV. Yeah, we'll do it a bit later. Okay, right.
You can do it later.
Well, we'll do it in this bit. So, I was saying to Paul the other day, we're talking about LTV. It's a lifetime value of a client. So, when you get a client, how much do they spend with you over the lifetime of that relationship? So, I mentioned that I live near a supermarket, and you know, if you watch TV, the supermarkets are hitting you all the time with adverts. But if you might think, but yeah, I only spend £100 at the supermarket. Why are they? It's costing them millions to get in front of me. But where I live near a Tesco supermarket. So that's a supermarket I've used for the last 10 years. But here's some numbers for you. On average, we spend between £80 and £120 a week on shopping. For the sake of my maths, let's call that £100 a week. That's £400 a month. Over a year, you see what's happening here? Over 10 years, are you getting this? Yeah? So roughly, I've spent £15,000–20,000 with Tesco's. Tesco's look at it and they go, it's worth doing marketing to this individual and this family, because if their LTV is £16,000, £18,000, £20,000, it's worth it. Because they're considering it as an investment. So here's the thing that you need to start thinking about now and actually write down. What's your LTV? When you get a client and everything goes well and they give you an assignment, on average, how much will they spend with you over a lifetime?
How do you determine the lifetime though?
Well, it's a good question. So
you take your business turnover over, let's say, 4 years.
Yeah.
The number of clients you've worked with over the 4 years and divide two numbers. Then you know, so it won't be a lifetime, but you know, okay, at least over 4 years, a client's worth to me X. Right?
So, we had a coaching session with Paul this week, wasn't it? Or last week, it was quite recently. And some of the things that we got him to do. So, Paul, share your LTV.
Well, what we did was, I looked at all clients I could, and looked at the retained clients, really, because they're the ones you win the first year and you go on. We raised about 150,000 a client, and then generally they'll be taken over or, you know, whatever.
So your lifetime value is 150,000.
Yeah.
So here's a question for all of you. If it'd be different for you, I kind of get that. But if it's 150,000, is it worth making an investment when you know you're going to get 150 back over a 4 or 5 year period? What do you reckon? But most of your competitors don't even know this number, and they don't even consider it. So we talk to some guys who say, all you want to do is a pay-per-click campaign and a direct mail. I've got to spend a minute. Yeah. But do the numbers. A bit later on, we're going to show you some pay-per-click and so on. And some of you guys in here are doing it, but I used to work with a guy, he used to spend £14,000 a month on LinkedIn pay-per-click. And other guys go, bloody hell, Terry. But his lifetime value was 280,000. It took him from pay-per-click, from the campaign, where we'll go into more detail, to him getting the business, took about 90 days. He worked out it was cheaper to spend that kind of money, or invest that kind of money on pay-per-click, than recruit consultants. Because with pay-per-click, if it doesn't work, you don't pay anything. Pay-per-click. If they don't click on your ad, some of you have got consultants right now, and it's costing anything between £2,000 and £4,000 a month, and you're getting no return from them. You can do a pay-per-click for a fraction of that and get a return. Think about it. But it's about having that mindset. It's about mastering marketing. But part of it, and we keep going about this mastering and constantly implementing it, is around the mindset when you go, oh, I get it, I've got to make an investment. There are no shortcuts to success, and anybody that tells you otherwise is lying. It doesn't exist. There are no shortcuts.
I was going to say, do you want to do like a quick 2-minute exercise just to get a rough,
LTV?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so let's go. So the question is, what do you think your lifetime value is?
So do it over. If you do it over like the last 3 years, again, you might not have the exact numbers, and again, if you're a new business, you won't. But so if you're new business, do it over like the length of your business. But if you're like over the last 3 years, roughly how many customers have you worked with, and roughly what your turnover? Divide the two numbers, and then you have your lifetime, or a rough anyway, lifetime value.
And I don't expect anyone to have a net correct figure. Just a rough. Yeah. It'll just highlight something. I'll start this.
I'm not sure I understand the question. Though.
Okay.
I mean, we talked about long lifetime value of clients.
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that what we're talking about?
That's right. Yeah.
Or okay.
Does that answer your question, Paul?
I think so.
Yeah. So just one second.
Because it's been a good exercise. That.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, when you really, spending more time with the clients that you've worked with, say over the last. I've got some clients I've worked with for 10 or 15 years, right?
10 or 15 years.
If they've given you $300,000 worth of business in that period of time, then why not spend more time nurturing them? It's easier to get business from existing clients.
That's right. We're coming to that actually. Good read point. Sorry.
So you mean, is that cumulative value over 4 years time frame, or per year on year?
Oh, cumulative value.
Cumulative.
Yeah.
Value. 600,000.
600,000. Which quickly, so 600,000. Paul, just very quickly. Lifetime value, what do you reckon?
I must be stupid because I'm still not understanding the question.
So we'll keep 2 minutes to work it out.
Okay.
Let me tell you. No, I mean, I know what lifetime value is, but I mean, you're talking about one specific client.
No, on average. So you have one client that will spend 100,000 with you over a lifetime. You've got another client that might spend 600,000. So the average then. Oh, okay. Yeah. So and it's off the top of your head. We get that you're never going to know the exact figure.
Yeah, at least 600,000.
600,000. Sorry,
Are you talking about your total billing for 4 years, multiplied by 4 years? Because that must be the value, because everyone you build. Well, hopefully none of them will be a one-off, they'll be repetitive.
That's what we're making, yeah.
So let's give 4 years turnover then, really.
No. 4 years turnover divided by the number of clients
yeah.
in that period.
So let me explain it. If I buy from Lorna, I'm a hiring manager, and Lorna engages me, and Lorna's average fee is 20,000. Their business is 20,000, and I work with Lorna for over a 4-year period, and I spend 80,000 with Lorna. The lifetime value here is 80,000. And she's got another client that spends 40,000 over. So that's what we mean by lifetime value. Does that make sense? We're not asking for your actual turnover over. Asking for, when you get a client, on average, how much do they spend with you over the lifetime of that relationship? Just raise your hand if that makes sense now. Yeah? Ali does not know?
I'm struggling with
it. Okay. All you do. Tell me what part you're struggling with.
So the amount of clients you've worked with. In the period, so my business has been going what, three years.
Mm-hmm.
So in that 3 years, the number of people I've worked with, clients, divided by the total number of revenue that I've earned in those 3 years.
Yeah, exactly.
Other way around,
Your turnover
divided
by the number of clients.
Turnover divided by the number of clients.
Okay.
So let's use. So if I work with you, Ali, and I'm a hiring manager, and I give you business.
Yeah.
Typically, how long does a client stay with you, and how much do they spend with you over the lifetime of that relationship? That's the question.
Okay.
Yeah. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
Does that make sense to everybody else? Just want to check in. Yeah.
I suppose this is quite a fluid. We would have a fluid client.
Of course you will. So it's an average, yeah.
And we'll work with a lot of SMEs who won't hire very much.
That's right.
Therefore, does the average work rather than a mean or a median?
So work on an average. So you're going to have an SME that might give you 2 jobs over 5 years because it's a relatively small business. Yeah. But you've got another client that may give you a job a year, as an example.
So I'm just wondering, is there something after this where you're going to sort of say, because it seems like if you have a very big client who's billing a lot, the lifetime value of that client is going to differ very much.
Of course, that's what we're asking.
We're looking for the average.
Why does the average provide a figure that doesn't work upon? There's something going to come after.
Yeah, okay. What's your average?
I'd say about 60,000.
60,000?
Yeah.
What do you say, Trevor?
80.
80? Brad?
300 or 400.
300 or 400? Imran?
150.
Sorry?
150.
150? Maria?
Well, you know, it's...
Yeah, slightly different because you're what is it anyway? Because you're this is recruitment software, so...
as I said, so many packages and so many different factors, it's hard in my head right now to give you...
Okay, well, we'll come up to you. 150?
When we go 5 months at the average fee of 28.
28, yeah.
We'll say about
30? It's okay, yeah.
100.
100?
75.
75? Yeah.
I'd say about 65.
65? 80? 80?
80 to 100.
Sorry?
80 to 100.
80 to 100?
50.
50?
120.
120?
Between 75 and 90.
75 and 90?
Okay, in the revised way, 200 to 250.
200, okay.
250?
250? Oh, of course, yeah, sorry. You no idea, okay. Oh, you told me, yeah. The lowest figure in this room is, was it 50,000?
30.
30,000. The lowest figure in this room is 30,000. Let's work on the lowest number, just for the sake of this conversation. How much would you invest then if you know you're going to get a return? Sorry, who said 30? You 30, yeah. Over 3 years?
Yeah.
3 years, yeah. So how much would you invest if you know you're going to get a return of 30,000 over 3 years? You see the point I'm making now? Let me just check in. If I said to you, right, Ali, if you do X, Y, Z, you do a pay-per-click campaign, you do a direct mail campaign, perhaps do a webinar, the whole thing's going to cost you, I'm not exaggerating this, the whole thing's going to cost you £5,000. And from all these advertising, you're only going to get one client, which is lousy, by the way. You're only going to get one client, but the one client's now going to spend for you 30,000. Is that a good return for you? Do you get the point?
Yeah.
But some of you guys are 150, 200. And that's what we're talking about. And part of the, I'm repeating myself, I know. Part of the mastery is you get your head around this. I need to consider what my LTV is, lifetime value.
So it's one, knowing what it is now, that's my point. So again, we said do a rough, like you want to get it exact. The closer you can get to what it is exactly, like the easier it is to grow your business, right? So you want to know what it is exactly, so over 3 years or 4 years or whatever. But also, so someone made the point earlier, like what it is in the first year as well, because again, to manage cash flow, you're going to want to know, okay, lifetime over 4 years it's worth 30,000, but in the first year I know it's worth 5,000. So in the first year I'm willing to spend £1,000 to get that £5,000 back, but then I know it's going to be worth. So you need to know all these numbers, and when you know them, you effectively, really, you've got the ability to print money, right? Because you know the numbers. It's math.
Mike shared something with me last night. Tell me if I've got this wrong. You spent £72 and you're going to get 6 appointments. Was that what you said last night? Was it last? Yeah, it was last night.
72, yeah. Yes.
With CEOs. Think about that.
With CEOs or hiring managers, yeah.
Would anybody in this room spend £72 if you're going to get 6 meetings? Of course you would. Yes, Brad?
No, absolutely.
Oh, sorry, I thought you were asking. Yeah. Yeah. And that's the point. But you have to master it. So what Mike's not doing, Mike's going, oh, I've spent 72 quid, but it's cost me 72 quid. And he said last night, I got 6 appointments for 72 quid. 6 appointments for 72 quid. 6 telephone appointments for 72 quid. It's an investment. That's the point we're putting over here. Does this make sense to everybody? Yeah. Sorry.
I've still got this one.
Does that make sense? So I just know. Does that make sense to everybody? Yeah? Does anybody it doesn't make sense to?
Well, it just depends on the quality though. You know, I mean, anybody can get 6 appointments, I think, but it's...
Yeah, so we're talking about 6 appointments with your ideal clients. Okay. So
yeah, but I mean, are we talking telephone appointment or face-to-face? Because
and we'll come into due course. We would recommend initially that you have a telephone meeting to establish their needs and over what period of time. Because I could talk to you today as a hiring manager, and you're going to say to me, yeah, our financial year is April. Personally, I wouldn't want to come and see you now if your financial year is April. You're not going to start doing this until April. But having that conversation with you now, I can start a relationship with you, and I can then say, right, I'll get back to you in February, and I'm in with a shout now. Does that answer your question? So
yeah, but my experience is we get bombarded with all kind of people who want to sell marketing stuff on life sciences and information and reports. and you know, they never came out to us. It's always telephone calls, and I just wiped them off. I said, you know, budget year is commencing exactly as you say, and you know, sometimes they call you back, sometimes you know they don't call, they don't bother. And the thing is, you know, I don't see any, honestly, I don't see any impact of those telephone calls. They tell you, oh, we got the best report because this, we got that. Perfect.
That's a reflection of how they're operating. It doesn't mean that's right. By the way, anybody that's doing that, stop doing that. Don't call people, then say you're going to call them back 6 months later. You're wasting everybody's time. And we're going to cover that in due course. But from your point of view, when you talk to a decision maker and they say our financial year is April, and you go, okay, I'll call, and you agree the time that you're going to call them back, and then you put them to a marketing sequence that we're going to cover in due course. So when you call them back and you go hi, they go hi. They know who you are. Then just like most recruiters, what happens is call me back in April. Okay. And you call them back in April, but you haven't communicated since today. And they go, who? That was 6 months, and you expect them to remember you? It ain't going to happen. And we'll cover that in due course. Let's crack on.
Yeah, like this. By the way, like the lifetime value, one of the things you want to be looking at as well is creeping up, and what can I do to increase it. But you need to have that starting point. But like the better hold you have on your numbers, not just in this, but throughout your business. So again, talking about appointments. How many appointments do you need to have to win the business? Like the better hold you have on your numbers across the board, the easier it is for like to achieve predictable growth. Right? You can literally decide. So you said you want to double your business, for example. You would know, in order to double my business, I need this many leads, this many appointments, and it will lead to this many clients. But you need to have a better hold on those numbers, and then you can decide how much you're willing to invest to get those numbers. And assuming it makes a profit, happy days.
Does that make sense?
Yeah. Just out of interest, did anyone who wasn't at Market Domination X that we done last time, did anyone watch the webinar we done last night? Just one of you, right?
Two.
Two. So, I said it wasn't at Market Domination X. You was at Market Domination? Yeah. So, one of the things we talked about were the three ways to grow your business, right? We talked about it last event, we talked about it last night as well. And so I was going to do it on the board, because marketing's great, acquiring new clients is great, but it's actually the hardest way to grow your business, right? So there's three ways to grow your business. One, increase the number of clients you've got, right? So that's what we're going to be talking about mainly what we're going to be talking about over the course of the 2 days is increase the number of clients you've got. Second way is to increase the transaction frequency. So when we say transaction frequency, I'm talking about if at the moment, on average, a client over the lifetime makes 5 placements with you, if you can increase that, you'll obviously increase your business, right? Does that make sense?
Yeah. Yes.
And then the last way is to increase the transaction value, so the price that they pay you each time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So these are the 3 areas that you need to be focusing on all the time, not just lead generation, not just getting more clients. And if we sort of do some numbers on that, so Bevan, you get a calculator.
I've only got it on my phone, just so I did my photocopy and get fined.
Can't use your phone.
Computer.
You don't want to be asked to leave though.
Turn on when it's off thing.
Yeah, that's it.
I'll just turn it on now.
Right. So again, to start with, let's say over the last 12 months you've worked with 10 clients, and those 10 clients over the year made 3 placements with you, and the transaction value or the average value of each of those placements was 10,000. Right? So you've got.
Yeah, it's on now, yeah. So it's 10
clients.
Yeah, multiplied by 3.
Multiplied by 3, that gives you 3, an average, so some might be more, some might be less, but on average, 3 placements each.
Yeah.
And each one, 30 placements in total, each one was worth 10,000, right? So you'd have business turnover of 300,000. Right, so let's say that's your starting point, but actually you want to, so you talked about doubling your business, but let's say you just want to increase your business. And a few people have mentioned they want to move up the food chain. So what we would do, the way most recruitment and search analysts look at it is that when they talk about increasing their business, they focus on this area here. And like, so to double their business, they need to double the number of clients. And in order to do that, they're going to need more infrastructure in place, right? So if you're working with 10 clients now, most of us are working hard, we're working, maybe not to capacity, but almost to capacity. To get double the number of clients, it means effectively double the work, right? So, but instead, if you work on all three areas, so let's say we increase the number of clients by just 10%. So now, so in the next 12 months, now rather than working with 10 clients, we work with 11 clients. The transaction frequency, we increase that by 10%, so rather than just 3, it's 3.3. And we increase the transaction value by 10% as well, so rather than just 10,000, it's 11,000. So you've got 11 clients who do 3.3 placements on average, so again, some are less, some are more.
That's 432,000 a year that you're doing now, just by increasing those by 10%.
Say 432.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah.
That's sometimes referred to as the business chassis, isn't it?
That's right, yeah.
So again, very quickly, there's no one in here who couldn't do those numbers now without really even being in this room, right? It's very, to increase those things, you don't need any more staff, you don't need to work really much harder. Okay, you've got one more client, but it's fairly easy to do, right? But I mean, here's where it gets really interesting. And again, we always, when people work with us on our program, we always show them this first. Let's say, rather than just a 10% increase from where we were in year one, right? We say, actually, we want to increase the number of clients we've got by 30%. So rather than 10, we're working with 13.
It's 3.9.
Right, and rather than it being 3 placements a year, it's 3.9. And rather than being 10,000, it's 13,000. Right?
What's that?
So 13 times 3.9.
So it's now 698,000. You've more than doubled your sales by increasing on those three numbers. As Drew says, most businesses will look, when we talk to them, oh yeah, I want more clients. Can you see the hidden profits in your business? Now we're going to show you how to get more clients, but there's an example of hidden profits in your business.
Right, it's like the good thing about this, obviously, yeah, you've more than doubled your revenue, which is good, but as we looked at before, you haven't necessarily had to increase your infrastructure that much. You haven't necessarily had to bring in more consultants. You haven't, that is a massive increase in profits as well, which is really what it's all about, right? So, again, yeah, just wanted to share that with you.
Yeah. Does that not make sense to everybody?
It's something very, I've spoken to you, Terry, it's something we've implemented in my business, had a really good effect, not only on the numbers, but the staff have really bought into the value of the service that we deliver.
Excellent.
And it's great to hear them on the phone actually saying, no, we're not going to drop our percentage to that. This is our lowest fee, you know, and it's kind of empowered them. And it's not just words coming out of their mouth, they actually believe it.
Yeah.
You know, that's
Excellent.
the difference.
That's right.
They're not just saying it, they believe it.
Yeah. Excellent. Well done. Well done.
And again, just wanted to sort of outline the reason why, yeah, you want to know the lifetime value of a client, but you also want to be working at, as well as bringing new people in, but new clients in, you want to be working at increasing that. What can I do to create that up? What can I do to increase the number of job orders that one client gives me? What can I do to increase the transaction value each time I make a placement? And you're always working at it. And again, to get double the number of clients, it's going to take a lot of work. This is what we're going to go through today is like the hardest way to grow your business. To increase your fees or to get more business of someone who's already a customer, it's dead easy, right? Especially the trust is already there. Does that make sense?
Yeah, I think it was Julie that was saying that the easiest clients to sell to are the ones that have already bought from you.
Yeah.
Yeah? No client will buy from you unless they have a need, they know you, like you and trust you. And most of the stuff we're going to do today is get clients to raise their hand and say, I've got a need, and get them to know you, like you and trust you. Ideally, so they want to buy from you and you don't have to sell to them. That's the absolute ideal. You want clients to buy from you so you don't have to sell. This is what this is all about today. But your existing clients, you've ticked all those boxes. Yeah?
Sorry, just a quick question. With your existing guys, is it that simple to basically say that we're going to increase on our fees?
No, and I'll be clear. Success isn't simple. So no, it's not, oh, we're increasing our fees by 10%. Take a look. You know, it's not like that.
How would you position it? That's what
I'll go into more detail, but it's all about the value that you can offer them. So if you say, this is a service that we do at the moment. We have this enhanced service. The benefit to you, Mr. Client, it's got to be about the benefit to them. Is blah 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 blah, which means to you blah 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 blah. It's a different conversation rather than some people say the cost of raw materials are going up, so our prices are going up. As a buyer, I don't care. Give me a reason why we're paying more. The reason that you're not getting the fees that you want right now is because you can't show the value to the client, or the client isn't convinced. Something's going on there. That's how this conversation is all about. It's about. Go on.
Because also just to add to that, so 10% is quite a big jump, but doing it 1%, and they're probably not even going to notice. It's not going to make a difference. So, like the point is, okay, yeah, you can just increase it 10% overnight, and the right way to do that. But you want to be creeping it up all the time anyway, even if it's just for inflation. Like you have to be really.
It is all. I mean, can I just add? It is all about the positioning, because the company I worked for put their fees up from 25 to 33 without any sort of marketing emphasis behind it. They're completely business bombed. So it is all about positioning.
Yeah.
It is all about the belief. So instilling the belief in your consultants as well.
Yeah. So your learning never ever stops. Ever stops. Drew and I are a member of a marketing group. We go to Cork every 12 weeks. We've been doing that for 4 years. We pay just over £2,500 a month. And my wife goes, but don't you know all there is to know about marketing? No! Of course I don't. And things are changing all the time. We went to a call, we went over 6-9 months ago, and a guy who lives in Haley Island, actually, Connor, shared some stuff about Facebook and how some things you can do with Facebook very shortly, and all this stuff about what's happening with emails and, you know, opt-in or whatever. The stuff that's happening with Facebook, it will be a game changer. The stuff you're getting now, your competitors have no idea. And it's changed all the time, but you've got to be prepared to be, I've got to learn this stuff. It's an ongoing process. Now, we're going to cover it. But you've got to be prepared to say, I'm going to constantly be acquiring this knowledge.
Don't be ahead of the game.
Yeah. You all know other recruiters who are still cold calling. And when I hear that, I think, why the fuck would you do that? Well, it's the only way you get business. Okay. But think about it. At least you know there are other ways of getting business. Most recruiters use 4 ways of getting business. Cold calling, word of mouth, referrals, and networking. There's about 150 ways. We're going to show you about 30 or 40 today, in the next 2 days. But it's changing all the time. But you've got to be prepared. I'm going to master this. I'm going to get on top of this. Now, some of you want to go, yeah. Some of you say, no, I've got enough now. You haven't. It's an ongoing thing. Anything to add, Dread, before you excited?
Yeah, I mean, again, this is an area that I don't think that me and Terry personally have really emphasised enough. I mean, we spoke about it before, but I don't think, a lot of the time I think some of our clients don't quite get it, right? Marketing will solve the problems that we talked about earlier, but it needs to be, it's a relentless journey, right? It's not, marketing's not something you learn and then you know it all, right? I've been studying marketing 7 years, probably more than most people in the world actually. Like I will still go to courses, I will still relentlessly, I'm looking for, maybe, so again we've got clients in the room who maybe know a lot of this stuff already, but it's the gems you're looking for. It's that small tip, hint, whatever it is that can push up, as you said, the lifetime value of client. It's going to have a massive impact on your overall business. It's not, it's a never-ending journey, and the more you...
Share that story about the pearl diver that you shared, we were talking about the other day.
Yeah, I will. So the more knowledge you acquire around this particular area, like the better choices, better decisions you can make, and really the difference between success, failure, and having a mediocre business is not the skills you have, not your network, not anything like that. It's about the decisions you make or don't make. And the only way you're gonna, sorry, the best way to make the most profitable decisions is mastery and acquiring the right knowledge to make the right call at the right time. So, like a couple of, so it would have been 2 weeks ago now, I went to an event that was about events. So the guy was teaching you how to fill events, how to run events, right? And so when I initially paid for the course, we hadn't done an event before. And so that week we'd been to Ireland to do
our mastermind.
And then the same week I had this event as well. So I got back from Ireland, I was knackered, didn't want to go. Then I thought about this, right? I was thinking about, well, so as I said, when I initially paid for the event, I hadn't done an event before. We had since done one, so I thought, I know how to do events now. Last event went well, I know how it works. There's nothing really that guy can teach me, right? Then I thought about this and thought, actually, even if I go and I'm just going to learn a small thing, a small snippet of information, it could be worth it. So I went, and there was, again, I knew most of it, but there was one thing he said on day one that really, I think anyway, is going to transform the way we do our business, and it was worth going just for that. And that's really the sort of the type of commitment, the type of thinking you need to have month by month. What can I do to improve this? What can I do to creep up those numbers? And it might not be a big jump, it might not be a big increase. So again, people said they want to double their business, which is fine, but it's the small steps on each stage of the marketing process that will show you that make a difference.
Clive Woodward, those that follow rugby, who was the manager of the England Rugby World Cup team when they won the World Cup. And by the way, well worth getting his book, and we'll talk about the reason why we should read that book. But he talked about, he realised, he took very much a business approach to running his team, and he realised if he could just make incremental differences, his argument was, if I can improve the scrummage by 1%, if I can improve the kicking by 1%, and he just looked for incremental differences, but it made a massive impact on that team. They went on to win the World Cup. I would really recommend you getting the book. Michael shares some stuff that he does with books, and just really, it's because his background, he worked for Rank Xerox, and his background was sales, but he applied a lot of business knowledge to building a highly successful team. But he totally got it on mastery. He totally got it on mastery, and he said to the guys, it's just that slight improvement. But at that level, be it football, rugby, whatever, the difference between success and failure is like that. I know, Dennis, you're a big rugby man. It is just, there isn't much in it between success and failure. But the guys that make it and go on to win the World Cup, they're going, no, we're going to master this. Some of us in here, we were talking earlier about football, and imagine whatever football team or rugby team you support, and whatever team you support, and you heard that one of the players in that team said, oh, I don't need a coach anymore. I don't need to I know it all. I'm an international. As a fan of you'd be going, are you kidding me? The likes of the best players, Ronaldo, Messi, they do additional training. Think about that. They're considered the best in the world, but they get it. To stay there, to be there, you've got to master this. The learning never stops. I just want to recap on something. Could you just do the next slide, please? Go. Sorry.
Story.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So again, going back to the event that I went to. So I got there in the morning. I still sort of didn't really want to be there because I was thinking, I'm not going to learn anything, right? So I forced myself to go, and I got there late, right? And there was a seat at the front. So I had to sit right at the front, and I'm sort of slouched over. Everyone around me hadn't run an event before, so I'm in my head, I thought, I don't really know what I'm doing. I'm not too good for it, but this is too basic for what I want to know, right? And then one of the first things the speaker said is like, you ask questions to the audience, so who do you think finds more pearls? A bus driver or a pearl diver? And everyone's sort of sitting there looking at and no one answered. So it's not a trick question. Who do you think finds more pearls?
Who finds more pearls, the pearl diver or the bus driver? And it's not a trick question. Yeah? Nobody thinks a bus driver, yeah? Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and then so after that, and then eventually everyone called out like you just did, and then he's like, yeah. And then he said, why? And then obviously the answer is because he's looking for him. And he said, so I don't know if he does it all the time or he could sort of pick up on my attitude. He said, if you're coming to this room thinking that if you're coming to this room like a bus driver, you're not going to pick anything up. You need to be looking for the gems. You need to be looking for the pearls. And it's just really for you today, not even just today, over the course of your business, all the time be looking for those pearls. It could be something you hear in this room. It could be a conversation you have with someone at lunch or at dinner if you're with the VIPs. It could be a small thing that transforms your business. Right? You always look for the pearls.
Yeah? As I said, what is market or client attraction? It's finding the potential clients that have a need for what you do. It's getting them to know you, getting them to like you and trust you. You won't make any sales unless you can tick those boxes. And by the way, if you've asked for business and you haven't got it, that's what's gone on. At some stage, one of those boxes haven't been ticked. Whether it's a contingent recruitment at 2,000 or a retainer and you want a 12, 15,000 retainer, nothing happens until you find something they actually have a need. So any of you guys calling me today or tomorrow and saying, I'm a great recruiter, I've got no need for what you do. You're wasting your time having a conversation with me. So it's finding the people there. So people will never buy if they don't. People will never buy if they don't want what you have, even if they need it. Yes.
Sorry, I was just going to ask you. This might be a real basic question.
No.
How to identify a need?
We're going to do that. I promise you. I promise you, we're going to do. Yeah. Sorry.
Good word.
Yeah. Because that's key to your success. Is identifying those clients and go, actually, I could be interested in what you do. I don't know if I'm going to work with you, Ali, but I am in the market for what you do. Yeah, we're going to show you to do that. Yeah. So there's a great book again we'd recommend you reading. It's called Permission Marketing by a guy called Seth Godin. And permission marketing takes over what we call interruption marketing. So interruption marketing, if you're watching the football, the rugby, Coronation Street or whatever, and they say, we'll be right back after the break. And they interrupt your viewing, they then display ads at you for the motor car, the washing powder, the supermarket, whatever. But they've interrupted you. Now, here's what they're working on. If I interrupt enough people, somebody might go, oh, actually, I'm looking for a washing machine. That's just what I'm looking for. So you get onto a tube, you walk around London or any major city, there's billboards, and you're being bombarded with about 5,000 messages, and they're constantly interrupting you. But you ignore most of them because you have no need. Anybody here that's had children relate to this. When your partner gets pregnant, or maybe you, get pregnant, you notice loads of prams and baby stuff. When you buy your car, whatever make your car is, you then go, wow, there's lots of other cars of this make and this colour. Because they've interrupted you, but now you're interested. And the same with any form of marketing. If you have no interest, whatever. You have no interest whatsoever. Then there's permission marketing. So permission marketing is where, as Ali said, you identify those people that have a need. You've now got permission because they go, yeah, I'm actually, so example, here we go, here. Man over here, and don't laugh please, but he's a Liverpool supporter, yeah? But don't hold it. But seriously, if I wrote to you saying, I'm going to send you, I'm going to give you access to, sorry, I'm going to give you access to Manchester United greatest games, you can get it on CD, and I'm going to give you a manual and everything else as well. Liverpool, Man United, arch rivals. He dismisses it. I have no interest whatsoever. He hasn't got a need. I then write to him again and I say, actually, I've got this one on Liverpool. And he goes, yeah, I know what his interest is. That's what his need is. I know he's a Liverpool, or he has some interest in Liverpool. Is that making sense? Yeah? So you've got to be prepared with your marketing as we go along. Some people are going to ignore you. In fact, most of your marketing gets ignored. But you only want to be speaking to people who are looking for what you're offering. And what you're going to do is you're going to find those prospects, what we call that's Drew's terminology, bleeding neck. I call it with a real pain in that area. See, for our business, I can talk to any recruitment business owner. I can guarantee I can grow your business. Most recruitment and search firm owners have no interest because they don't have a need. Even though, if you say to them, do you want to grow? Oh, yeah. Look around the room. There are 25, 26 people in here. Most recruitment and search firm owners are not in this room. But if you ask them, do you want to grow? Oh, yeah. But here's the difference. They haven't got that bleeding neck. They're not committed. Whatever is going on in their life. You talk to anybody, do you want to be rich? Yeah. Are you prepared to do what it takes? Can you see the difference about the commitment? You've got to dig into those wants and needs, and not just their external needs. And we're going to cover that as well. Because most people say, I want more business. Well, what's really driving them? When you dig into that, you'll get the decision that you want, and we'll share with you how to do that, because that's what it's all about. Most of the clients you're talking to have probably got a need for what you do, but they don't want to work with you, Lorna, for whatever reason. And I'm not, for whatever reason, yeah? They need to know that you exist. Think about it. If you were the first person they thought of when they had a need for what you do, especially for search guys as well, there's real trust involved there. They've got to think of you. Very quickly, a client did an exercise, and it's called the Dream 100, where you write direct mail to a number of people. And he gave an example where he did just that, and then a major organisation are having a board meeting, but 3 of the board members were on his mailing list. So they sat down and they're talking. They said, we need to get a search firm in here. And somebody says, oh, there's blah, blah, blah. And then the director went, oh, I know them as well. Can you see the power of that? So the chairman says, well, if you 2 guys know that organisation, let's get them in. So Jim goes in. Think about that for a minute. In a board meeting, they're talking about you. Because the decision makers, the influence in that business, at the very least, know of you. If they have never heard of you, they'll not be talking about you in the board meeting. You need to stay on their mind. Obscurity kills sales. I don't care how good you are. If the clients have never heard of you, they're not going to buy from you. You can be the best recruiter in the world, the best search firm in the world. It counts for nothing. Your success won't come down to how good you are at doing the delivery. Your success will come down to how many people you can get a friend of who know of you. Not being funny, but the back end stuff, I'll show you, it's not that difficult, is it, to actually do the delivery of the recruitment? It's not, you wouldn't say it's a difficult job, that part of it. Or would you? Perhaps you do.
Yeah, right. Candidate.
All right. Right, okay. I'm not going to argue it.
But is it the easiest part of your job, though?
No, we find the people that other people can't find. So to do what we do is quite specialised.
Yeah.
And I think the actual finding those top 10% in an industry is quite difficult.
But here's
but converting them.
Here's your challenge. If your clients don't think that, it makes no difference.
Yeah.
Does it? So you say, we can find those 10% of people that most recruiters can't find.
Yeah.
Part of your role, Brad, is to let your potential clients know that.
Yeah, absolutely.
So they go, well, at the very least, we ought to have a conversation with Brad, because he reckons he can... Yeah. And that's what this is all about. Yeah?
Yeah.
Drew?
Again, having a conversation with Mary Claire in the bar yesterday, and like one thing that people don't get is that 80% of marketing, especially when selling recruitment for, I mean, we said earlier that it's something that eventually your clients will have a need for, whether they like it or not. 80% of it is just being the person they think of when they are ready to buy. It's not even a case of if. It's like if you are the first firm they think of when they're ready to buy, they will buy from you. And I mean, there's sort of pros and cons to this. It means that for you getting new clients, you just need to be there at the right time. It also means like with your current clients, the clients that you're working with now, one of the reasons why they are buying from other people when you think actually they should have come to us for that is not because of disloyalty or anything like that. It's literally because you weren't top of mind, right? So part of your goal is to make sure when your client thinks I need that service, it's you they think of and nobody else.
I touched this earlier. Need, know, like, trust. People will buy from you. Do business with people will buy from you if they actually like you. But you can't be liked by everybody, which I touched on earlier. I don't need to know your political views, but here's a fact about Donald Trump. Some people hate him. 50 million people did not vote for Donald Trump. But he was aware of that, and he used a deliberate ploy to polarise his audience. And he knew what he stood for, some people would go along with. Now, it doesn't matter whether you agree with that, it doesn't matter. But he knew exactly what he was doing. He didn't go for the popular vote per se. Look, whatever you think of him, he did it. He had no political experience. Think about that. No political experience, and he's now the leader of the most powerful country in the world. He didn't go for people, I want to be liked by everybody. Bullshit. Is this making sense? Yeah? He stood for something, and some people liked him for it. I'm going to build a wall. Oh, that makes sense to me. But you see the point. Some people like that. It's not about being liked by everyone. We were doing some work for somebody else, and we did an email, and they came back and they said, a few people have complained about your email, and some people have said, oh, I was going to buy from you, but I'm not going to buy from you anymore. That was bullshit. They were never going to buy from them. And don't let your business be governed by one or two people coming back saying, don't like your email. I swear this is true. I'll keep this, doesn't matter. I'm not going to mention his name. A guy rang me up and he said, I want to have a meeting with you. All right. He came back, he said, sorry. He said, I wanted to talk to you about your marketing. He said, you're relentless. He said, well, everywhere I go. I went, oh, thank you very much. Thinking that we're going to have an intelligent conversation. I want to give you some feedback on your emails. There's really no need to do that. No. I went, whoa. Have you booked this appointment to give me feedback on my email? Yes, I'd like to actually, Terry. And there's a couple of typos and so you put this on LinkedIn. I said, I knew he said his name. I don't care. No, I think it's important. I honestly don't care. His opinion of me is none of my business. I honestly don't care. Some people will want to give you that feedback. It's none of your business what people think. I promise you, it doesn't count for anything. It's about being liked by your ideal clients. That's all that matters. Most of your clients, prospects rather, will not buy from you. That's a fact. Get over it. But you couldn't handle all the business of every single client you wrote to say, oh, let's do it. You couldn't handle it.
It's like you've got to be careful what you wish for, right? We talked about
that. Yeah. Please do your utmost to repel those people that you don't like. So there's certain people, I'm not mentioning names or characteristics, there's some people, so whingy moaning people, I've got no time for. If I get the slightest inkling, I have got no time for them. It's a personal thing. Does it make me right or wrong? That's who I am. People that show intolerance to certain people, I've got no time for. My business, my rules. I strongly encourage you to have my business, my rules. So what part of our thing is, we don't work with tossers. It's as simple as that. It's as simple as that. And if someone's going to be a tosser, well, you're entitled to your opinion, but it's not for us. But be crystal clear about what you stand for.
And again, if you're working with, or ever have worked with, people that you don't enjoy working with, it's because you haven't got this right at stage one, right? And I know that a lot of you nodded your head when I said that. So I know that we all have probably had clients who you didn't really enjoy working with. And again, I guess it's your choice if you want to do that. I think it's better, more profitable to work with people who you get on with, who you like, because if you like them, they're going to like you, right? And if they like you, they're going to buy from you more often, which is more profitable, rather than having to work with somebody who you don't enjoy working with. It's not that there's anything wrong with that person, it's just that you don't see eye to eye for whatever reason. So you need to get it right from the first step, and the way to do that is repel the people that you don't like. And it's not about necessarily deliberately repelling them, but people will like you a lot more if you stand for something. When you put your personality in your marketing, you share your views, you share what you stand for, yeah, you'll repel the people that don't like it. Again, like Donald Trump. But you will attract masses of people who love it. And they're the ones who are going to be your loyal customers. They're the ones who buy from you again and again and again.
It's a very strong statement, that, because I've been doing this work a long time, and it took me years to sort of realize this, because we've talked about this many times, but you know, when you have a client or a potential client that you're trying to get, and they're being a real dick about things, you know, going back over the years, the people that you end up working with them, they become nightmares to work with.
Yeah. Does anybody else relate to that? Yeah.
And you know, it took me a long time to realise that, you know, because I wanted to be liked by everyone.
That's right. By the way, if you're working with tossers right now, you attracted them into your business. You need to look at yourself. Because nobody held a gun to your head to say you're going to work with this guy or this hiring manager. You at some level, and we've all done it, I'm not criticising, I've done it as well, you've attracted them into your business.
Yeah. And again, it's deeper than that really, because we're the owner of the business, we spend most of our time working in the business, right? So you actually invite them into your life. And there's a lot of people that you work with, or you maybe work with now, who you wouldn't be friends with, but actually you're spending more time communicating with them than you do your actual friends, right? So you need to be careful, you need to be selective about who you bring in. And again, like we talk about enjoyment, it makes your job a lot easier, but it is just more profitable. It is, if you've got a friendly relationship with somebody, they're going to buy from you for years and years and years and years.
I think there's also something in that about getting to know more than one person. We've got a client as a person over the last 12 years that's moved to 4 different companies and has always bought from us, no matter where we've gone.
Excellent.
But we still have relationships with those companies
Yeah.
that he's moved on from, so that we've basically captured
Absolutely.
business from 2 places.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
it's
We have
about
a, yeah.
client relationship in terms of the person, but also the company
Yeah.
as well.
We have a policy about don't, so we call it DDWC, don't deal with tossers. And sometimes I can talk to clients and I say to Drew, I'm not sure about this guy. And Drew always says this, would you have a beer with them? No. And Drew says, well, tell them to fuck off then. That's it. It really is as simple as, if I can't have a beer with them, why would I work with them? It doesn't make sense to spend time.
Just to be clear, there's nothing wrong with the person.
Yeah.
It's probably more something wrong with you. But it seems like if you're going to be spending a lot of time with them, so again, Terry, on our sort of our mastermind group, you spend a lot of time on the phone with these people, at meetings with these people. Do you really want to do that? And if the answer is no, then there's no need to work with them. Again, I think one of the things that I want you to get from the 2 days is that you don't have to rely on any one sale. Right, there is an abundance of business out there, and I think, again, we've been there as well. I think the only reason you work with people that you don't want to work with or don't enjoy working with is because you're not sure where your next client is coming from, right? And again, so gave the lifetime value. You're thinking, well, this person could be worth to me 30, or I think the lowest was 30,000. This person could be worth me £30,000, but there's an abundance of business. You don't need any one sale. And again, when you've got the leads coming in, we'll show you how to do that as well. When you've got leads coming in, it becomes more clear. But you should never be relying on any one sale, right? If someone isn't quite the right fit, be prepared to walk away. But the only way you're going to be able to do that, or be comfortable doing that, is when you've got an abundance of leads coming in.
Here's a quick question. Honestly, and raise your hand if you've been desperate for business. Yeah? So and we all have, yeah?
Yeah.
So you're talking to, do you know what? The client can smell that desperation from 50 paces. Yeah. As I'm talking to Dennis, so Dennis, what have I got to do? And they're picking all that up and they're saying, how far are you prepared to bend over for this? But imagine a situation when you go, I've just generated 30 leads this month and I'm talking to Dennis. Dennis, I'm not sure if you qualify to work for him, but let's have a conversation. Your position has shifted completely. Dennis now gets I'm not desperate for his business. But can you see what happens to the way that you negotiate? So whoever we talk to, we're prepared to walk away. We start with no. You may not qualify to work with me, is our stance.
Again, but it's hard, for people that are fairly, not just new to the business, but it's hard to do that when you need business, right? I mean, that's the thing, and it took me a number of years to get over that, because you're right, they sense it and you get screwed around, and
that's right.
At the end of the day, you don't get the business you need.
Yeah.
But if you can overcome that, you'd be surprised how it turns around. I
spent time with these two guys yesterday. You talked about, if the client's not paying me a retainer, I'm going. Listen to that language. You pay me a retainer or when it's no deal. Paul was saying when we're having lunch at lunchtime, the salary is too low, I'm not doing it. Now, that's the stance you take. Pay me a retainer because I'm worth it, or we're not doing business. In fact, I'll give the names of half a dozen cheap recruiters that you can work with. Not with me.
Well, it's a very simple way to do that. If you use your doctor, right, especially in private, and you go to the doctor and you're not feeling well, and he's trying to cure you, and it doesn't help, you still have to pay the bill. Have you ever seen a doctor who guarantees you, I will cure you, 100% guaranteed?
No.
No. It's the same thing. We're prepared to pay for a lawyer. We don't know the outcome. Are we going to win the case? We don't know. We pay him. We retain him. He's not working.
But do you know why?
And so why should we?
It's a positioning.
Why should we be different?
Listen to that language. Why should we? So he's made it quite clear. Why should I be any different? And I agree with you 100%. Now some people will disagree. And that's fine. But he's saying no. I'm the best. I'm equal to a doctor and a lawyer. You want to engage me, you have to pay me up front. But it's your choice. If you don't, that's okay.
Right.
It's how you present it, because you got to be careful that you don't get.
You don't want to be an arrogant.
Because there are a lot of recruiters.
Well, if that's arrogance there as an island, you should be just there.
Yeah.
Here's a fact: the moment you put a client or a candidate on a pedestal, they can only look down on you. But you put them on the pedestal. Don't do that. Treat them as equals. If you're getting treated lousy by somebody, that's your choice. You've allowed that to happen. And we all have, myself included. Your choice. Nobody's held a gun to your head to work with these clients. They need to believe, you've kind of said it there, that you're superior to any other options out there. But you can only do that with effective client attraction. But if I'm competing against Brad, and Brad goes in cold and says, yeah, I can do this, and I can find the top 10%, but I'm competing against Brad, but the same client, I've been communicating with them on the regular basis over the last 6 months, it doesn't know how long, but they know who I am. They say to me, I'm talking to Brad. We're talking to Brad as well, Terry. I say, great. And they say something like, well, why would I work with you rather than Brad? And I'd say, have you read any of my books? I've been on the largest group. And I would just position it. So I will almost dismiss Brad without bad-mouthing it. I'm surprised you're even considering Brad. Brad! But very subtly. But you see the point then? Does that make sense?
Yeah, again, like, so trust is like the biggest one, I think, anyway. Because, again, we mentioned earlier that the problem with this industry is that the client has no way, really, of knowing that you are even good. They don't even know you're adequate, like, let alone that you're better than the guy down the road who they've also spoken to. They have no way of telling that. So the way that you get them to believe that is with trust, right? And you mentioned doctors, right? Like, there's a lot we can take away from the medical profession. One of the reasons that we buy from them without really questioning it is because they don't sell their services like salesmen, whereas most recruiters do. And we distrust salespeople, right? We like immediately, if you're in a situation and you know that the person's selling to you, you're already on your guard, right? You're already cautious. So I think about when you're speaking to an estate agent or you're speaking to a car salesman, people think the same thing about recruiters, right? They're already on their guard, which is a problem. And the way you get them to put their guard down is with trust and looking, almost appearing completely opposite to every other recruiter that they've ever came across. And that really links back to what we said about being loved and being prepared to walk away. Because most people they're speaking to are sort of desperate to win the business. If you can say, look, I'm not sure if you're right to work with us, you look different. It's no longer you selling to them, right?
They're buying from you now.
Their guard goes down. Suddenly they have to sell themselves to you. Does that make sense? Mm-hmm. Right? And the way you build that trust, and again, you have to do it from day one, you do it by providing evidence, right? So we like to use the metaphor of like a murder trial, right? And so think about a murder trial. Let's say you are a defendant. It's irrelevant whether you're innocent or guilty. You want to walk free, right? In order to do that, you need your story, your version of events, your evidence to be better than the other team. Does that make sense? What a lot of recruitment search firms owners do, they almost present the closing argument before showing the evidence. Right? But you want your marketing to demonstrate, show the evidence first. So by the time they get into the meeting or they're speaking with you, they already believe your version, because they've already seen the evidence, right? They already believe your version of the truth, which again, it doesn't matter whether you're innocent or guilty, it doesn't matter whether you are actually the best, you obviously believe that you are, but they need to believe your version of events more than they do your competitor. And you do that with evidence, and that's what effective marketing is, providing the evidence step by step. So when you speak to them, they already, you know they've got a need, they already know you, like you, trust, and trust you. Like, trust is a very, very big thing.
Excellent. Let's stack in the evidence. I don't think that's done too much of that,
No?
yeah. We're going to take a break now. Sorry, Dave.
Sorry. We have to give us some examples of building.
Yeah, well, as we go along, we're going to stack all the evidence. Yeah. We're going to take a 30-minute break.